episode of the Soccer Podcast Show. I'm your host, Paul, and I'm joined by my co-host, Noel. So, okay, Noel, thanks for joining us this morning.
How are you doing, Paul?
Now, Noel, we're just going to quick look back at the game played last Thursday, July the 20th, in the opening round, the opening game of the Women's World Cup. The final score was Australia 1, Republic of Ireland 0. So, just what were your reaction to it?
Yeah, tough result in the end, Paul. I think at the start of the night, the start of the morning our time, we got news that Sam Kerr was missing for Australia. That was a massive boost for Ireland because Sam Kerr is one of the best strikers in women's football. This is a home World Cup, so I think even Vera Pauw said after the game, this really made them believe they could actually get a result in the game. Thought Ireland played well. We defended very well in the first half. I think Australia had most of the ball, but there wasn't really many clear-cut chances. Australia were, you could say, the dominant team. We were kind of hit them on the break. Second half, Australia sort of upped a little bit. It was clumsy. The penalty was very clumsy. It was unnecessary too by Marissa Shiva, I think is her name. She brought down the Australian player. Once you have a hand in the back and the referee can clear you, see more of a tangle of legs as well, to be honest with you, but she's got caught ball watching the other. She's not really a defender, Paul. Maybe Katie McCabe was the one that should have been marking her at the time. Katie McCabe was being pushed on a little bit forward. But the penalty given, and I have to say, Paul, the penalty from Katie, I think she was captain for the night. That was a brilliant penalty, right in the corner, just underneath the crossbar. Didn't actually hit the crossbar, but you won't see a better penalty in the early rounds in the Women's World Cup. To be honest, I thought it was a fantastic penalty. Pressure, home crowd right behind her. Australia weren't playing well at the time, but I have to say she absolutely buried it. And from then on, I thought Australia, for the next 10-15 minutes, Australia on top had one or two half chances. Irish made a few mistakes. I was fearing the French episode all over again at home because we gave away the ball, I think needlessly, a minute or two after that, and Australia were in, but they sort of made a mess of it. I think Fowler had a chance of it over the bar. But from the 70 minutes on, though, I think we really went for it. Abby Larkin, the youngest player now to play in the World Cup for men or women, 18 years of age.
Hold on a second, Noel. I'm going to correct you. Norman Whiteside was 17 back in 1982 when he played for Northern Ireland.
No. I'll correct the record. So Republic of Ireland. So.
Oh, sorry, yeah. No, sorry. Just.
I'll correct the record. But no, it was she burst of energy. Lucy Quinn came on. I did feel that the game was crying out for a bit of for Amber Barr for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, just before we go to that, can I just make one point? And your analysis is spot on there. You see there in the graphic, the penalty came on the 52nd minute. I always talk about in every sport, the 10 minutes that are after half time, they're known as the championship minutes. And this, I don't care what code you're talking about. I don't care what level, the top level down to lower level. This is the top level. But usually in the 10 minutes after half time, there's a danger that one team, they either lose concentration inside in the dressing room or they lose focus and they come out and you can see the goal. And as we know in soccer, it's not like rugby or Gaelic games. We have high scoring games or American football or Aussie rules. 1-0 is a big result. And invariably what happens is one team, they lose concentration and the penalty. And again, I'm not going to name the player or nail and everyone makes a mistake. But again, I just find it interesting. 7 minutes after half time, we can see the penalty as kind of a silly penalty. Is that another kind of an issue or not an issue or just a tossing that is championship minutes, 10 minutes after half time? You have to be so concentrated and so careful. There is a danger the players switch off in the dressing room.
Well, I suppose the disappointing thing, Paul, is that Vera Pauw actually said at half-time herself to the players that this game is so tight, this game could be decided by a mistake. It's either going to be us or them. And unfortunately, it was us. And it was one of those games, Paul, it was tight. There wasn't many chances. I think overall in the game, I think between the two sides, Australia had 2 shots on target and Ireland had 1. That's how close the game was. Obviously, Australia had a few more attempts and goal, but a lot of them were off target. And Courtney Brosnan hadn't had many saves to make, to be quite honest, many big saves, anyway.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, neither did the Australian keeper. But you said yourself, the 20 minutes, 10 minutes after half time, well, less than 10 minutes after half time, that the penalty was scored. So, it's something we really need to look at. I think, I do think that we're not keeping the ball, even in the analysis after the game as well on the television and in the papers. We're not keeping the ball as well as we can. We need to get a breather in a lot of the games. A lot of games seems to be helter-skelter. I think Sinead Farley is a good player. She's a good technical player, but she has only played a certain amount of football at this level because she was injured. I think she had a serious car crash in 2015. She actually retired from professional football for a long time, but she's a player that can hold the ball, bring other people into play, but she can only really last a good 60, 65 minutes. She's not going to be able to last the whole game. And to be honest, we don't really have a player like her in midfield. They can get on the ball and calm things down. I thought she is a good player. She can good technical player. We don't have many of them in midfield, in men or women.
I know, and to be fair to say, we don't have in the men's team either, as well.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
We're crying out for a player like that just to get on the ball and calm everything down and bring other people into play. It's just something the Irish football have always struggled to have. But yeah, we brought on Abby Larkin and we brought on Lucy Quinn. They were bombing down the wings, particularly Abby Larkin on the right hand side of Ireland, and we created a few half chances. And another day, Paul, we could have nicked it. I think we would have probably deserved the point.
Yeah, no, you just mentioned there is a slight criticism of the manager, and we will
against the host nation.
Yeah, sorry, no, again, and we did a video last week about she was getting criticism before the match, but there is a legitimate criticism that in the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, she didn't throw on. Is it Amber Hare? Have I that name correct now or not?
Amber Barrett.
Sorry, apologise. She's a kind of a goal scorer. She mightn't be a very experienced player in terms of, but she has this natural, this a great ability. It's a great Robert Clancy said one time. Certain players have this ability to score, to find the net. That she wasn't brought on. Is that a legitimate criticism of the manager in the last 10, 12 minutes that she didn't bring her on?
I think so, Paul. I think so. I think goal difference could be huge in this World Cup group, and I accept that if Ireland maybe pushed on too much, we could have conceded another goal. Could have lost 2-0. And considering that Canada and Nigeria drew 0-0, that was unexpected. So we were still right in this group, Paul.
Yeah.
But I felt, I mean, we even took a risk. We pushed Louise Quinn, the centre back, forward, a bit old style, to be honest with you. You know, I thought if we were going to do that we could, if Louise Quinn was pushed on, we could have brought on Amber Barrett, a bit like a Robbie Keane, Niall Quinn situation from 2002. We could have gone something like that. A flick on from Louise Quinn, and then Amber Barrett run in behind her and getting a few chances. I thought it was something like that. The trouble was when we pushed Louise Quinn forward, we looked actually more vulnerable at the back. Now, I know it was out for a few minutes, but she is our best defender, and I feel it was a bit of a risk. I think if they've done it before and it has worked out okay, but Louise Quinn actually had the last chance of the game, a good ball in from Katie McCabe from a throw-in, and then...
no, I also want to talk Noel, putting across you there. There was a corner. Who took the corner? And the Australian keeper made a good save because he was a brilliant corner. There was a great swerve in the ball, and the ball was actually swinging in. He was going to go into the goal, but the goalie was kind of off balance. But someone managed to get her hand and knock it away. Who took that corner? Can you recall?
I think it might have been either McCabe. I think if it was the one you're talking about, where
near the end of the game.
No, I think it was probably Connolly. I think it was from the left, the Irish left-hand side. I think you're thinking of, is it?
Yeah, I think it was one team, but it was actually a brilliant save to the Australian keeper because it was a fantastic corner kick. Sometimes you see even in the men's game the corners go too long or they don't even beat the first player, the first line of defenders. But it was a brilliant corner kick, which Lucas would have the breaks you get with it. That's what the goalie's there for.
Yeah, that's what they're there for. I think. Look, it was a good performance by Ireland. I think they stayed well in the game. They weren't overawed, I think, by the occasion. I think the fans were fantastic for them. I mean, Irish support is going to be massive for us now against Canada. It's a big game. We're going to probably get onto that in a few minutes.
We'll do it in the next podcast, yeah.
But yeah, it was. I think it was just a missed opportunity, but we cannot underestimate the loss that Sam Kerr is to Australia. That'd be us without Katie McCabe. I mean, if Katie McCabe wasn't fit to play on Thursday morning, that would have been a massive loss. Yeah. And plus, it was only the day before the World Cup that she got the calf injury, and she's out for 2 games. So we cannot underestimate the loss that Sam Kerr was to Australia. So the fact that Australia were able to get over that hurdle, win the game, now they didn't play as well as they can. Now, to be fair, I think that in the Australian media, I think there was an Ireland part of us. Now, to be fair, I do think we played a very, very low block.
Well, again, Noel, sorry, no, if I couldn't cross you. If I was a manager or a player, I'd be delighted. That's a fantastic tactic. Absolutely nothing with that. As I say, I keep saying, soccer, the scoring zone is very small. It's not like rugby or other field sport where you can score from one corner to the other. So parking the bus, I take that as a compliment.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think when we were trying to score a goal in the last couple of minutes, there was a chance there. I think Abby, there was a chance right at the end. I think there
Yeah,
was a ball played up the wing. 2 Australians went for the one ball, and Abby Hart got in between the two of them, and she crossed. And unfortunately, the ball just wouldn't fall from McCabe's left
Yeah.
foot. McCabe's her strongest foot was left, and she had to hit it with her right.
Yeah.
And she got a shot off, and the Australian keeper saved it. But I think if that's on her left foot, I think there's a real good, decent chance that's going into the back of the net. Unfortunately,
but they have the tight margins.
they're the breaks, they're the tight margins. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get them, but we've hope for the game against Canada. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. So the final comment, I suppose. Look, both of us predicted Australia would win the game, but I suppose, as the old saying goes, I think Johnny Giles says that there's no game played on paper. The match is played on the grass, on the field, on the day. So maybe we're looking back with a slight regret with the circumstances of Australia missing their captain and their top striker, that maybe we might have pulled the draw. But look, we finished. We just lost the game 1-0. We're not out of the tournament. So you just your final comment on this before we move on to the next podcast.
Yeah, it is kind of a missed opportunity. Australia didn't play as well as they can. I think when we went 1-0 down, we were, as you said yourself, 10 minutes after conceding, make sure you don't concede another one, then try and build yourself into the game. I think we did that. We just have a little bit of regret. I feel that Amber Hart didn't come on. I hope to God that she does come on in a game that we need a goal as well, because it's, as you said yourself, the championship minutes are up now. We need the results against Canada, and we're going to have to hopefully learn from this. There's a few ice packs and a few girls' legs after the game as well. Louise Quinn was in the protective boot, but I was hoping that she'd be available. But we need everyone fit and ready now for that game against Canada and learn from the mistakes against Australia, and hopefully we get a result against Canada.
Okay, Noel, thank you very much for that.